So today we are going to talk about the white cane just as is. So most of you have the cane that can fold on itself like this one. You got 4 or 5 sections that you put all together. Some of you may have the telescopic one. They're not very widespread, so we're not going to talk about those. But this is the one that I have. It is unfoldable. It has 5 parts. Some of you may have 4, some of them may have 6, depending on the manufacturer. It basically is entirely white. That's why we call it a white cane. And it has a elastic cord going all the way through each of the section of the cane, so that you don't lose any section, and then they snap back on just with the tension of the elastic rope. So a quick advice: you see that a lot of people with good eyesight think it's magic, but doing this, for example, is not recommended, mostly because depending on the material of your cane, you may actually bend each of the some of the junction point on each of between each of the section, and if you bend or break one, there's no way to recover from that, so the whole cane has to be replaced. And then the other problem is that if you unfold it too low, the tip at the bottom of the white cane can actually hit the floor violently and break it. So a white cane with no tip is pretty much useless for you too. And the third problem is that if you have a white cane that is made of brittle material like a fiberglass, if you hit the floor too violently, you may actually break the actual cane, especially if it's, like I say, a fiberglass or something like that. Mine is made of graphite. There actually are 3 or 4, mainly 3 kind of cane. Some are made of graphite, like the one I have here. Some others are made of fiberglass, and then there are some others that are made of aluminum. They all have advantage and disadvantage. Usually it's the weight you want to look for and the response to what you get on the floor to the handle. For example, if you get the aluminum white cane, it's heavier than if you have the graphite or if you have the fiberglass, but it gives you a really good transmission of what you feel, what the tip of your cane feel on the floor, and you can actually feel it better on the handle. If you get fiberglass, it's going to be very light, so you can actually compare with aluminum white cane. It's actually going to be much lighter than that, but it's brittle, so you can break it easily. And the problem is that the signal coming from the tip to the handle might not be as good as the aluminum. The best compromise is to choose a white cane that is made of graphite. It's a little bit more expensive. It's also brand new graphite. You couldn't find them a few years ago. It's a good combination with the weight and the transmission of the data that you can feel through the tip at the bottom on the floor when you use it. One last thing, and then to finish that video, is a tip. Most white cane are sold with what's called a marshmallow tip, which look like a marshmallow. It's like a pug, a hockey puck, and it's usually relatively small, and it rotates, so it doesn't drag on the floor, but it rotates when you swipe the cane right and left. And the problem with the tip that come out of the box is that it is tiny and can grab into pretty much anything, any crack on the pavement. So the first thing you need to do when you receive your brand new white cane, regardless of the material, is to buy yourself a new tip. Mine is, I think, 1.5 inch diameter ball. Work the same way as the marshmallow, it rotates. But because it's made, there's no corner at the opposite of the marshmallow tip, you can actually avoid those cracks and avoiding from being stabbed by the white cane when you catch something on the floor. That's it for that video. As always, if you like it, put a thumbs up, and don't forget to follow us.